Here is a hard truth. Global freight is no longer a level playing field. It's an oligopoly. And India's homegrown freight forwarders and LCL consolidators are on the verge of being pushed to the margins. While India aspired to become the world's next manufacturing hub or powerhouse, its local logistics players struggle to scale. Meanwhile, global giants are tightening their grip through aggressive mergers and acquisition, making it even harder for Indian firms to compete in the global space. What's going to happen next? Is there any way to come out of this? Let's find out in today's episode of Logistically Speaking. Picture this. Just 20 multinational freight forwarding companies control 55 to 70% of world's containerized trade, that is both FCL and LCL cargo across all major routes. With fewer than 6 major shipping lines carrying more than 90% of the cargo globally, and LCL cargo movement, which represent about 8% of global container trade, which is roughly around 200 billion annually, is funneled through less than 5 powerful multinational LCL consolidators. Global ocean freight is navigating a near perfect oligopoly. This is not a future scenario, it's happening right now. Multinational giants like Kunanagal, DHL, DSV, Hellman, Sinotrans, Nippon and others from countries like Germany, Japan, the US, Korea, Taiwan and China have built close ecosystems that favor their own offices, their national shipping lines and LCL consolidators. These tightly integrated ecosystem give them a strategic edge, allowing them to dominate global trade route, expand aggressively worldwide and consolidate market power. It's not coincidence. These nations have deliberately nurtured their logistic companies or logistic champions to become the oligopolies of global trade. For India to truly become a global export and manufacturing hub, homegrown shipping lines, forwarders and LCL consolidators must thrive. But unlike their global counterparts, Indian players face systemic hurdles that stop their growth and global competitiveness. For example, the top 20 Indian forwarders handle less than 10% of country's ocean freight compared to over 60% in China or Germany. Why this is happening? Let me explain 7 key reasons holding Indian players back. Number 1, the loyalty gap at home. Let's be honest, we talk a lot about Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat, but when it comes to choosing vendors or partners, how often do we actually back our own? The loyalty to homegrown business is shockingly low. Indian exporters, including giants like Tata, L&T, Reliance, Mahindra or Bajaj, prefer multinational logistics providers, often overlooking capable Indian firms. In contrast, countries like Germany, Japan and China show strong national alignment. Over 80% of Japanese exports are moved by Japanese forwarders, while 70% of German and Chinese exports are relying on homegrown logistic companies, which is big or small. That loyalty builds resilient ecosystems. India's lack of such alignment is holding us back from building globally competitive logistics champions. Number 2, lack of government backing. Countries like China, Korea and Germany build export strength by actively nurturing their homegrown freight forwarding, shipping and LCL consolidation companies with policy support and national alignment. The local logistic companies benefit from favorable policies, banking support and quite government preference in handling national projects. In India, there is no such push to promote Indian logistic firms even in large public infrastructure or defense-linked movements. Number 3, missing scalable platform. German, Chinese and Japanese and US companies grew on the back of strong local support, allowing them to invest in digital platform, warehouses, global offices and acquiring companies around the world. Indian companies lack that initial runway of loyal support from local companies to build competitive scale. The lack of trust or strategic alignment leaves local logistics firms stuck in low margin roles without long term growth assurance and the ability to invest in technology and processes to scale. Number 4, compliance disadvantages. Indian tax laws, GST, and other regulations create a compliance burden when freight is routed domestically. In contrast, global contracts managed outside India bypassing these regulations, making multinationals more attractive to Indian exporters and importers, even if this is at higher cost. Number 5, lack of collective thinking. Unlike Europe or China, where alliances and industry bodies drive consolidation, Indian logistics players often operate in silos. There is little volume pooling or coordinated global expansion. Number 6, lack of investment in technology. Without scale or steady cash flow, Indian forwarders struggle to invest in automation, track and trace system, or AI-driven optimization tools that global players are already using as a standard one. And lastly, number 7, branding and global presence gap. Global visibility and brand strength matter in freight forwarding. Most Indian firms lack recognizable international branding or overseas offices or agency network, reducing their appeal in global bids. With India's merchandise export projected to reach $1 trillion by 2030, gaining control over logistics is critical for ensuring global competitiveness and long-term resilience. To drive this transformation, a focused execution roadmap is needed across 8 key areas, each vital to enabling India's rise as a global manufacturing and trade powerhouse in the logistics industry, especially in LCL consolidation and freight forwarding segment. Number 1, grow the culture of backing local. Large Indian exporters must prioritize partnership with Indian logistic firms, especially in government and infrastructure-linked freight projects. This shift will give domestic players the scale and confidence to invest in capacity and innovation. Initiatives like 100% use of domestic players for Indian infrastructure-related build-up would act as a booster for scaling up of Indian logistic companies. Number 2, move from undercutting to upgrading. Indian freight forwarders and LCL consolidators must move beyond undercutting rate and instead invest in tech-driven capabilities like online booking portal, real-time tracking, dynamic pricing, and collaboration instead of competition to remain competitive. A broader adoption is critical to sustain and grow. Number 3, strengthen with partnership. Industry associations and network must foster a collaborative ecosystem where small and medium logistics players can pool volumes, share infrastructure, and coordinate operations. This collective approach enhances bargaining power with the carriers, improves service reliability, and help level playing field against larger multinational competitors. Number 4, policy support for local companies. The government should introduce incentive, tax rebates, and reduce port charges and digital infrastructure grants for businesses who are using Indian origin logistics providers modeled on similar support system in Japan and China. Number 5, capital infusion and strategic alliances. Indian freight forwarders and LCL players must actively raise capital through internal funds, private equity, or strategic partnership to modernize processes, adopt new technologies, which will help in scaling operations. Without this, still they risk being stuck in low margin, commoditized role in fast evolving global logistic landscape. Access to capital is the key that can unlock scale, efficiency, and long-term relevance. Number 6, promote a unified national logistics identity. Create a Move in India campaign along with Make in India to instill confidence in Indian logistic capabilities, similar to how Korea or Japan promote their national shipping line and freight forwarder and LCL consolidation segment. Number 7, skill development. India's logistics sector, employing over 22 million people, needs more than manpower. It needs skilled professionals trained in documentation, digital platform, global compliance, and who are competitive, innovation driven. Growth will come when Indian MSME logistic companies get equal access to training and a fair chance to compete. And lastly, number 8, build collaborative network. It is important to create more closely knit networking, which should facilitate volume sharing among alliances among small and medium players. Collaboration boosts negotiation power with the carriers, reduces cost per unit, and increase global relevance. If Indian companies and policymakers don't act, the sector may soon be dominated entirely by foreign giants, leaving the local players with a little room to grow. But with bold action, collaboration, and a shift in mindset, India can build a logistic ecosystem that supports its homegrown logistic companies, create jobs, and drive the next wave of economic growth. Now, I invite you to share your thought on few key questions. What's the biggest challenge facing Indian logistics today? What should be the right strategy for Indian logistics companies to scale in support of the country's export growth ambition? What changes do logistics players and the government need to make to transform India into a globally competitive export hub? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you found this episode insightful, share this video with your friends and colleagues, and don't forget to subscribe for more such analysis on Indian logistics field. Thank you.